it's a tough sport, you know. And I don't know what these younger guys are doing these days, but I know for me, I can't be doing that. Just health reasons, you know. It's just pushing it to the limit too much for a trophy, you know, or titles. Because for me, I already won one. I mean, that's the Oscars of our sport, you know. So I don't have to feel like I'm obligated to keep winning it, and especially at my age. And that was a lot of stress when I first won. You would think I'd be very elated and just like, you know, in a bliss, but I was actually very depressed. It was heavy. It took me about 2 months to kind of get out of that whole obligated to do this again, because I really pushed myself hard, and I was proud of it, because I always say I would rather take second, but know I worked harder than I've ever worked, than to win and know I could have worked harder.
How did you feel then when you won?
I felt like I've never worked harder in my life, and I won. Thank God. So that's a good feeling. You know?
Yeah.
That's like that payoff. You can't beat that. You know, it wasn't because the other people weren't as good or they were off or whatever. You know, so.
What did you have to bring to that event mentally and physically that you probably hadn't done before, or in a different way to before? Like how would you sort of?
Because there's an opportunity there for me, unlike before when I retired, because the trend, way before social media, was about the bigger guys. Because when I first came into it, the judging criteria was about the best physiques wins. Doesn't matter if this guy was much bigger, you know, and you were much smaller. If you were more complete, you were more conditioned, balanced, they were going to choose you to win. And it happened. That's when I came up throughout the 80s. That's what I was seeing when I was in high school and got to meet a lot of these guys and go to Gold's Venice back then. And then I started competing myself, and I was beating the bigger guys. But there was a point where the industry started changing, and the guys that were getting on the covers were the big mass monsters, and it was selling more protein drinks and everything else, you know. And we weren't placing, I feel, justly. And I was like, I'm not a big guy, so I'm not going to chase that. And a lot of my peers did, and it ended up really ruining their health. And you know, I didn't feel good as an athlete. It just was not going to be for the long game, because I'm always looking for the long game in a lot of things I do. And I felt like I would be so broken down right now. My body, you know, would be so broken down. And for me, to win on a stage is very temporary, because life is the biggest stage, you know, and that's where you really want to win, because people forget, you know. So I achieved it, and I achieved it in the way I wanted to, which is the hardest I've ever worked. So I could be very proud of that. And when I won, I had a couple guys call me in really high up in the industry, straight out tell me, I said, you know, this division they came up with, you're ideal for it, but they really want to give it to some younger guys. They want to bring this division to everybody. And they're like, you really gonna have to work hard to win it next year. And I really don't think, even if you came at your best, that they would probably give it to you, just for politics to a certain degree. And this was me driving back from winning the Olympia, back to LA from Vegas at night. And I was like, oh, wow, this guy is not holding back, you know, but he's known for telling the truth, but he's accomplished a lot. So, and I was like, okay. And that kind of set my brain going, am I going to push that hard and have to deal with that? You know, they gave it to me because I've been around for so long. This title, they don't want someone to get into controversy. I've already had decades of being in this industry for being known as well-liked and well-respected, helping people crossing just not the fitness industry, but crossing over to the entertainment, to the professional athlete. So I try to help expand the fitness industry as an ambassador, you know. So they literally came up to me when they came out with this division, say, hey, we want the industry to go back a little bit and represent what bodybuilding was. The artistic part of it was being lost, you know, because that really started showing with the social media, and the younger guys didn't want to be these mass monsters. They wanted to look very athletic. The shoulders, the waist ratio, the movement, and the posing was getting very popular. And that's why they came with this division.
What year did that division come out?
What's that?
What year did they come out with that?
2016.
Oh, 16, okay.
That was the year I won.
Right.
And the Olympia promoter actually came up to me at the time and said, "Hey, you should probably think about coming back and competing, because this division, to be honest, you're one of the people we had in mind as far as they're still actually around doing it and looking good. So you might want to put your hat, throw your hat in and give it a go. If you work hard, because I'm not known for being like very OCD with what I do. These guys will carry their Tupperware and eat every so often. I'm a lot more relaxed about it, because I know what I need to do, and so I wasn't known for being very like bodybuilder, ish, but I really wasn't just stuck in that genre either. So in a way, they're like, you need to live a bodybuilder and get this one. And that was the promoter of the Olympia told me that, because he knows me and he knows what I'm capable of. And when he told me that, I was like, wow, that's kind of an honor that he would actually say that to me. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do that. So I had my wife cook me all my meals, ate it in time, and did everything, did my cardio when I was supposed to, train when I was supposed to, and it paid off. And the next year, it was different because I got so many offers to travel all over the world, because I won. And I had to think to myself, if I do that, I'll make money and I'll be a great ambassador, but there's no way that can fit into my training if I want to really step it up a level from the year before. And I had to make that decision, And I think once I made that decision, I'm just going to come in looking the best I can, not compromise my health, and try to get as much done as I can traveling and stuff. And that's what I did. And I was a little bit behind, and I knew it. I even started training with Mickey Rourke, a friend of mine. And I haven't seen him in a few years. And when I saw him, ran into him, and he heard I had won, and they put my picture up at Gold's Venice, and I brought him my gold medal when we trained, Olympic gold medal. He was just so proud of me. And so he wanted to train. He goes, let me train with you for the next one. And I'm thinking in my head, that probably wouldn't be the best idea for me. I'm thinking I should be training with another bodybuilder that trains harder than me. And I'm like, you know what, this would be a cool bonding experience. Because I already in the back of my head, maybe I was looking for excuses and stuff. But to me now, it was about the relationships. And, I have a really cool picture of Mickey at one of my photo shoots after I trained for Muscle and Fitness, standing behind me. And I'm hitting a pose. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, it's really cool. They'll probably put that up in Gold's Venice. And he's kind of critiquing how I should have my hands and stuff. And we're both looking in the mirror, and the photographers took a really awesome photo of us doing that. And so, yeah, and that's where I was, But there's still something in me saying that, I could maybe give it one more go.
Really?
Like really get focused and do it.
Knowing what price you'll have to pay for that.
Yeah, because I tell people, it's like, be careful, compete to learn until you get to a certain level where you think you can actually win. That's the problem. These guys they're not balanced enough, where they're going to need 2 more years to put on more leg development for their upper body or whatever it is. But they'll compete, which is good because they'll learn. But they're going after it and doing a lot of unhealthy things to try to win, where even if they won, that wouldn't be their best physique. You know what I mean? And what's the point of that? Because you're like a car. I always tell people I'm a classic car with very low miles. Because every show you do and you go balls to the wall, you're kind of wearing your body out. It ages you. I think I aged a lot, to be honest with you. That Olympia I won, I really felt that one. Just in my joints, and it took a lot out of me, It's like a fighter that just is a brawler, You have to learn how to fight with, more skill and not get hit as like Mayweather. I mean, look how long he lasts, and he's still cognitive, and, everything is okay, where you get these guys that just don't even put their hands up, and they're just going knockout, and they're getting hit all the time. Might be great for the crowd, but not the best for you. And so you need to look at bodybuilding in the same way. Some of these freaks, yeah, you might be the crowd favorite, but like what I said, that 15 minutes of fame is only 2 minutes these days. And you're going to compromise the rest of your life, and you're supposed to be in the fitness industry? I mean, there's some professional athletes that don't even look like they've been professional athletes at elite levels because they just look worse than the normal person because of what they put their bodies through, So
what is it then that is hooking you back potentially then, knowing
It's the drive of the being competitive, and even at not my extreme of what I know I can do to go extreme to achieve a certain look. I don't necessarily need to do that for people to appreciate my physique, you know, and also my age to say, wow, that's pretty cool. That's when people ask, like a lot of these athletes that are doing well and stuff. So what do you think of this athlete? What do you think of this person winning Olympia? I said, you know, they're like, are you impressive? I said, yeah, it's pretty impressive, but let me know where they are at 50s, in their 50s, you know? I want it at 47. Let me know where they are at 47. Then I'll tell you if I'm impressed or not.
That's an interesting point you make, because I think maybe it's only on reflection when you get older you see this, but there's in all aspects of life, and particularly in sport, you'll see these people who come out of nowhere and do really well. But I think, and you're known for this. I was reading it, but you're known as I'm not sure what you would describe, but the king of consistency. And I think in life generally, people can get up there, but it's like getting up and staying, and then having that consistency year after year is a very different skill than just getting up there.
Yeah.
What's your experience on that?
I think consistency wins in business and so many things, you know. You could be talented, but if you're not consistent, even let's say as an investor, if I invest in something, I'm investing in the long term to a certain degree, because it might, you know, get you excited. Someone that can do something, or a fad product that you can invest in and get a quick return on, but it's the long-term return that's really going to make you the money, and it's going to make you that stable money, and you keep collecting that in your portfolio, and pretty soon you're just sitting back and you don't have to worry about anything crashing because it's been consistent.